Are you using any type of AI right now?
No, I'm doing it all by myself.
Come on, girl. You've been doing this too damn long to be doing that shit. That's like using your fingers and toes to count all your money. You look young as hell. What do you?
My daughter is 24 and sells cars also.
Yo! What's your daughter's name? What's your daughter's name?
Her birthday's today. She turns 25 today.
Stop.
Crazy.
You know, they call me. They're on my Facebook page. I try to make it like one big friendship because they'll know who to call when they need a car.
Hey everybody, this is Sean V. Bradley, president of Dealer Synergy. Look at that. And the creator of the Millionaire Car Salesman and Car Saleswoman group. And I have a very special guest today, but I ain't going to tell you about it. I'm going to let you marinate. I'm going to want you to wonder who this might be. But I'm going to tell you that today is going to be a very good conversation, because what we're going to talk on the show today about is how to, as a salesperson, do more, be more, and achieve more. I'm going to repeat that. How are you going to do more, be more, and achieve more? Let me explain something that's very disappointing out there, folks. NADA says that there's roughly 18,000 car dealerships that are franchised. There's an additional 40,000+ independent used car dealerships out there. So do the math. That's almost 60,000 car dealerships. Ready for this? The average dealership has 10 salespeople. So we are talking about over 500,000 automotive sales consultants, car salesmen, car saleswomen, product specialists, automotive concierge, car people, car guys, car girls. There's over 500,000 of us in this tribe. But here's what's disturbing. Out of 500,000 Americans, the average salesperson sells less than 10 cars. So what comes before 10? 9. That's a single digit. You know how disturbing that is? Now, I don't know if my co-host or my sidekick, Mr. L.A. Williams, is available to give his opinion, but L.A., isn't mediocrity sad?
It is, man. And what's wild is we allow other people, the people around us, to determine our future. Now, a lot of times it's like, okay, that it is what it is. Y'all hear me say at the end of every podcast is you're the average of the 5 people who you spend the most time with. And so I get why it happens, but sometimes when we're not around greatness, right, we got to find greatness in other places. That's why we got to listen to podcasts like this. That's why we got to, have audiobooks and things like that going on in our head, because it's mostly what's happening where your mind is spending time, right? Your body could be physically in the hood. Trust me, I know, right? And you could be around people that's doing hood stuff. But if that's not what you want to do, if you want to be in a different environment, just move your mind from that place to a new place, and then you'll grow, as I did, from the hood to a little bit nicer spot, right? So it's the same thing in the dealership. So that's really what the challenge is when people get surrounded with mediocrity. Then they
let me be crystal clear out there, folks. If the average salesperson is selling 9.6 cars, okay, if they're selling less than 10 cars, that is not only just sad, it's kind of depressing, However, there are people like Cody Carter. I just keep talking about Cody Carter because what this man has done, there's other people that have like a team of people. They got like multiple salespeople. They've got porters. They got this. This is a one man with one assistant. His relative, I think it's his sister-in-law, all right? Yeah. Her name is Hannah. So one guy, Cody Carter, and then his assistant, Hannah, they sold in 2024. You ready for this? 1,432 units, and he made $1.1 million on the showroom floor as a car salesman. The year before, he sold 1,408 units on the showroom floor and made $1.2 million. Now you're like, wait a minute, what happened? Well, obviously there's more volume, less gross, in 2024, but he still put that many units out there. And when you put it in perspective, if the average dealership sells only, less than 100 cars a month, you see what I'm saying? This guy sold about 20% to 22% more than the average full-blown dealership. So today on this show, I want to bring a spectacular guest, a spectacular automotive professional. And I am super proud that she's a female. You know why? Because there's not enough females in our industry that got recognition. I want to remind you, My wife is the CEO of the company that I founded. I still don't know how the hell that happened, but she got me, right? My two daughters, my one daughter, Kalina Bradley, is an F&I manager, full-blown F&I manager. She's been an F&I manager for almost a year now at RK Auto Group, Chevy, Kia, Subaru, and Toyota of Vineland in South Jersey. 4 years in the business, 4+ years now. She's been doing this. She's only 24 and a half years old, and she's crushing it. And everybody knows T got your keys. My other daughter, Tiana Mick, she's got 7.5, 8 years in automotive, 3.5 years in the front line. She was selling 20 units a month. But the woman that we're about to announce, I'm gonna let LA, because he's the MC, he's gonna announce our guest because he's got that voice and he's gonna put some bass in it, some effects. But like this woman did double what my daughter did. You know, she crushed it. And she's part of the group, and I saw her post and I was just blown away. LA, who are we talking about? Who are we gonna talk about after this break?
We are talking about our good friend, Miss Tiffany. And what I think wild about her name is that it actually reminds me of Tiffany Haddish. So I don't normally do this, but I'm gonna have her come in and give her name. That way it's said the proper way. Tiffany, tell them your name.
My name is actually Tiffany Haggerty-Kruzer.
Tiffany Haggerty-Kruzer. Ladies and gentlemen.
Go by Cruiser in the car business because it's a good car name.
It sure is.
Yes.
We're going to talk more to her when we come back, y'all. It's the Millionaire Car Salesman podcast.
This episode is brought to you by Podium. Here's a question. How much would your business change if you had one more employee who worked 24/7 to turn every lead, including the ones that come in after hours, into test drives, sales, and more money for your dealership? Meet Jerry, Podium's new AI BDC. Jerry is a lead conversion powerhouse designed to respond instantly to every incoming lead to answer questions accurately, keep leads warm, and schedule test drives, all without direct human supervision. And the best part, with a seamless handoff to staff on the sales floor, customers will never know they were interacting with an AI to begin with. See how Podium's AI BDC can help you sell more cars by visiting podium.com/MCS. That's podium.com/MCS, or click on the link in the show notes below.
Thank you for calling Doing It Wrong Motors. How can I help you?
I was looking at the tan 2023 GMC Terrain. You guys still have that?
Oh, sorry. That vehicle's been sold.
Could this be happening at your dealership? Get the Dealer Synergy team to handle calls the right way. We'll gather all the information, drop it in the CRM, set a solid appointment with notes, so all you have to do is sell. Do yourself a favor and go to dealersynergy.com for a free demo.
And no more of this burning through phone-ups nonsense.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back on the Millionaire Car Salesman podcast. And you got myself, you got Sean V. Bradley. And as you heard before we went to break, we got Miss Tiffany Kruzer, right? So you're going to pick up your cruiser from Cruiser. Listen, we're going to do the doggone thing. So we got questions, right? The car sales, listen, she's selling 40 plus cars a month, right? And so I know there's some folks who are selling like a quarter of that. And they're like, how in the world do I get to that level and above, right? And so I'm sure we got some questions. We're gonna find out about her background. We're gonna find out about a whole bunch of stuff. Sean, take it away. Let's ask these questions.
Tiffany, first of all, respect. I think you heard the intro on the show. You were doing something spectacular. So I don't know if, and you could hear the landscape in the back. I'm working from the home office today, folks. My son is sick, so I apologize in advance. What you got to realize, though, is that our industry is incredible. You could make as much money as you could earn, but the reality is that the majority of people are not doing what you're doing. You are selling more than quadruple what the average salesperson is doing. And so I want to try to just dissect, understand, and analyze what that is. So tell us a little about your background. How long have you been in the automotive industry?
I actually started in the automotive industry in 2001. My uncle that I married into owned a dealership in Pennsylvania. As I was sitting at home and my husband at the time was going to school to be a BMW mechanic, I decided I wanted to try doing something different and do sales because I liked sales back in the day. I started doing that, and when we moved back to Ohio, I interviewed for the BMW dealership in Cleveland. The manager walked in, saw I was a female, and walked right back out and didn't interview me after I drove 2.5 hours to the dealership.
Yo, do me a favor.
That's crazy.
Do me a favor. How long ago was this?
2003.
Ha! Ha! You stupid! You BMW dealer, you manager, you stupid. She's on the show because
You
she.
big dummy,
Oh
stupid.
my God! Are you kidding me? That you know? Can I just, Tiffany? Let me just say this. I've been there. Do you know how many times this is true story that like I applied for stores in New Jersey and then they did not like hire me, but they hired Dealer Synergy, and I told these people I don't want to put people on blast because they're our clients now, but I could tell you more than once I was like, yeah, I said it. I was like, yo, you should have hired me when I was interviewing for you because you're going to be paid 10 times more and only get a fraction of my time at this point. You could have my undivided attention and loyalty, but you passed on me because people prejudge. And that's why I want you on the show. Audience, did you hear what she just said? She went to a Highline dealership, to a BMW dealership. And shout out, this is nothing against BMW OEM. It's not even against that dealership. It's against that dumbass manager that prejudged her and walked out. And look at this, not too long later, she's selling 40 plus cars a month. And you could have did that for that guy, but he prejudged you and he was stupid. So, all right. So tell us, where are you at now? What dealership are you at now? Because
So the same GM called me and goes, "What happened at the interview?" And I told him what happened. He said, "Well, I run a Honda store. You're hired. You're not even interviewing. You're hired."
Let's go.
And I said, "Okay." So I said I was a little nervous because I was used to already knowing the BMW brand, and I didn't know much about Honda, but I did know that the market of Honda probably was better in the Cleveland area than BMW at the time. So I took that chance. I started in January of 2002 at Honda, and I've been here ever since. I took a year off, did mortgages, but I came back because Tom Ganley called me.
So you said since 2002.
Yep.
Okay, man, you look young as hell. What do you?
My daughter is 24 and sells cars also.
Yo, what's your daughter's name? What's your daughter's name?
Her birthday's today. She turns 25 today.
Stop.
Crazy.
Yes, we do. Tiana just turned 26 on Monday. So Tiana, what's your daughter's name? Shout out to your daughter.
Leanna Nickel.
Oh, Leanna, listen, you must be proud. Oh, okay, we got to unpack that in a couple minutes. I want to give you your shine, but then we're going to circle back having a daughter.
I just got an idea. Having a mother-daughter podcast.
Yeah, we have a podcast. Our daughters should do a podcast.
Yes, they should.
Yes. Okay. So listen, Tiffany, you are fabulous. Oh my God, I'm loving this. Okay, so let's go back. So you've been doing this obviously for over 23 years. Is that about right? Okay. So 23 years. You know what's crazy is that sometimes it takes 20 plus years to become an overnight success. Or you know what I'm saying by that? Is that a lot of people on social media, and I'm so glad you're on the show for more reasons than you can imagine right now, because sometimes people only see like the Cody Carter stories or these stories, but they don't understand the hustle, they don't understand the grind. I mean, for example, people at your dealership might see, or people that know you on social media might know, oh, this woman sells 40 plus cars, but they don't know that your heart was broken. Somebody like when you first went on the interview, they don't know that part of the struggle. So again, can you tell us some of the challenges you had when you first got started? Were you selling 40 cars when you first started?
Not at all. Not at all. And I had to build my way up. When I started here, there were a couple other females, but they landed up dwindling off. I was pretty much the only female and still am the only female salesperson at my dealership. There were a lot of older generation men that were a little upset at my success. When I would leave for my vacation, they would go into the manager's office as a team. Well, why does she get this or why does she get that? And I would sit there and make postcards and do everything that everyone else didn't do. I always wanted to be different than everyone else because that's what makes you successful.
So let me unpack this because this is, I feel like you've been waiting to tell your story. I feel it. I feel it. You know what I mean? These people created a monster in a good way. Okay. So basically what I'm hearing is that when you first got into the industry, there was hazing, there was Michigan complaint. And shout out to my girl, Chrissy Burton. You know Chrissy?
Yes, I've seen her online.
We're going to connect you, and it might be a Chrissy, Tiana, type situation with you guys, because Chrissy was tortured as well. And I use the word tortured, because she was selling, again, 74, LA 74 was her top month, but she would average like 60 plus cars a month. And man, everybody swore that she was, power booking deals. She was doing this, she was doing that or whatever. She must be cheating because how could a female out crush somebody that's been doing this for 20 years? And So I understand how hard that could be. Can you just tell the audience what that felt like when you're just trying to do your job, you're just trying to support yourself, and then you have just chauvinism and stupidity that's disrespecting you?
It's pretty funny because that honestly gives me more drive. When people tell me I can't do something or they don't think I can accomplish something, it makes me want to show everyone that I can do better than everyone else. It's just, I've always been that way. I don't like losing. And especially with all the odds against me, I knew that I needed to do things differently.
If you don't mind me asking, what nationality are you?
I'm Irish and Polish.
Okay, so you're Irish and Polish. So again, do you feel that there was any discrimination from whether it's the customers or the dealers on the race or just the gender?
Very much so with customers to a point when I was younger, because as you saw, people think I'm younger than I am usually.
Yes.
So I even looked younger years ago.
Yeah.
So they would make it feel like I didn't know what I was talking about. But I had such a fun feeling when I'd be out on the lot with them and I'd walk them inside and I'd sit them down at my desk and I'd have all my awards hanging up everywhere from every single salesperson a month, all down the line. And then they'd go, and they just shut up and they go, you really do know what you're doing, don't you? It totally changed the way they treated me as soon as they saw how successful I was in front of them.
Lovely. I love it.
So now let's go through what were the things that you did, because that's where I cut you off before on purpose. Because
Yes.
I wanted to just pause, let it marinate, let it simmer for a second. And I want you to tell the audience, what were the things that you did to differentiate yourself? You know, to slowly explain, like bullet points, these cards, what type of postcards, what did you do and how'd you use them?
Well, when I first started, there were no computers.
You too?
We used a logbook that we logged our customer and did all that. So when computers came out in like 06 time, I actually decided to start making my own labels, address labels. I would handwrite letters. I would not do printing. I'd sign them all. I'd address them all with my hands. To lease customers, I'd make sure to send them postcards. I'd personalize them online. I just did things differently while everyone else sat there talking about sports and everything else going on around them. I would go to the different businesses in Cleveland with donuts with my cards at banks and things of that nature, give my information out when it was slow because I had time to do that. I'd introduce myself and I gained people from those things. I don't even have,
because I'm pretty good at what I do here. And this is diamond stuff that you're giving us right now. What I want you to be able to do is, okay, break it down. You got donuts. Okay. And what type of organizations you go to? Did you go to the police department? Boom, boom, psh. You did.
I would go basically to the banks more and the clothing stores. We have a mall across the street.
Tell me, so you had Krispy Kreme, Dunkin' Donuts, details.
We had Dunkin' Donuts.
Dunkin' Donuts. Okay, so you got like a dozen Dunkin' Donuts, and what did you do exactly? So if I'm at the bank, role play, am I the teller? Am I the manager? Who am I?
I would walk into the bank as a teller. If someone would say hi, I'd say, hi, my name's Tiffany. I work down the street. Here's some of my business cards. We have good deals going on right now. If you know anyone looking, please let me know. My cell phone's on here. And then I would give them the donuts and say, enjoy breakfast on me. And they'd get all excited. And usually it would get me a few customers.
Okay, now, so you did banks and you did what else?
Clothing stores, because we have a mall right across the street.
What was your best return on investment? Was it the banks or the clothing stores, or both were just fabulous?
The banks were good with me because a lot of females work there. So I would get a lot of those like females going, wow, and so I get a lot of those. And I did well when I went to actually a couple restaurants in the morning and I knocked when they were getting ready in the morning. Because like Olive Garden's right next door, and I did it for them too. So I did gain a couple from that too.
Okay, this is amazing. Okay, what other things were you doing differently like this?
Another thing that I learned actually from my significant other, he came into the dealership in 2015, and he was the only one that beat me. So that's how we met, and he was real good. He never sold cars, but he taught me to actually put a lottery ticket in each thank you card after I sold a car. And then people would be coming in going, oh, I didn't win, or I did win. But if you're only spending $1, they're scratching off a scratch-off lottery ticket when they get their thank you card. And it just causes another form of conversation.
Tiffany, I love that. And did you have anybody that you can remember that won a little bit?
I had one guy win $5.
Okay. And did he tell you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he came in. I sell a lot of families here, 20 plus cars. So the service department usually is, hey, Tiffany. I feel like I'm the showroom queen sometimes because I have so many people there that know me.
Oh, I love it. Okay, the lottery ticket I think is absolutely brilliant because, again, it creates excitement. It's a little bit more than just
Hmm.
a thank you. It gives them
Yeah.
that possibility they might get more. You're giving them the gift of chance. You're giving the gift of hope, and you're giving the gift of excitement that's in there. And then
Yes.
people appreciate that, and that's so different. I've been doing this a long time. I've heard a couple times people do lottery tickets, but not enough, especially when they're
Hmm.
so cost effective, like you just said, $1, $2,
Yeah.
whatever it might be. You're killing it. Give us some more ideas of what you're doing.
Really, another thing I like to do is the postcards are a big deal to me. The reason why is because people don't like to open up envelopes, too much. So I really feel that if you have it on a postcard and they get it in the mail, they're going to read it right away. So I've had a lot of previous customers say, I got your postcard, they'll hold on to it for a couple months. But I've gotten the most success from the lease customers getting my postcard with, Honda's a good lease retention business. So I've gotten a lot of people that will hold that postcard and wait to call me. So that's worked a lot. I
Let's go back
also,
to that. What type of verbiage? What do you have? What are you saying on these postcards specifically?
I typically say like, hi, my name is Tiffany. I saw there's right now an auto show sale currently going on. We could either get you out of your lease early or lower your payment. When are you available to bring in your trade so we can take a closer look? Here's my cell. And then they usually text or call me.
I love that, Tiffany, because I can tell you right now, one of my favorite CRMs legitimately is Promax NCC, the complete CRM. And that's because, NCC is the National Credit Center. It is the only CRM out there that has all of that data, all that information, all that desking stuff that has to do with the credit, the lease retention, all that stuff. It's right there in the dashboard. And so what a lot of people do is they use their CRMs for data mining, equity mining, purposes. So give us some of your lease tips really quick. Do you start 6 months out, 5 months out, 4 months out, and de-escalate? When do you?
I Yeah.
Let's talk about this.
Sorry.
Okay. You like this?
I usually go 6 to 8 months out based on if there's equity position. Sometimes on our chart it'll show us equity position, or we have a system that will show us that. So I'll go out further if I see it's something that shows where we still could possibly get out. But I'll just start hitting them right away.
You're using your CRM, right? You're using your
Mhm.
CRM to identify if, first of all, you're identifying your lease retention list. You're going out
Yes.
8 months out. And then what sounds like you're doing is you're cross-referencing, okay, here's all of my, leases that are going to be coming to fruition, let's just say in 8 months, 6 months, et cetera. And then you're cross-referencing your CRM data to see who's got an equity position. Is that what I heard you say?
Yes.
Okay, good. So
Yes.
let's just say that 8 months out, is there usually equity in position 8 months out or no with Hondas?
Some Hondas do, depending on what Honda.
Okay, so
Yes.
what would you do? Tell us what you would do if there was equity position. So 8 months out, what type of postcard or email or
Yeah,
message you send out?
I'll send one of my postcards. I'll also send a text. Typically my text will just read, "Hi, it's Tiffany over at Honda. I see your lease is coming up." And I also put, when are you available to come see me? And then they'll just text me back a time and I have an appointment set. My biggest thing is I think too many people are too busy selling the car when you should be busy selling the appointment. Once you get them here, that's how I do sell so many cars. I mean, I work 4 days a week and I'm able to come and go as I please. So I pretty much work very little. I work 20 to maybe 35 hours a week.
Wait a minute.
But
Save on that. I want to keep framing this, okay? Because there's people to listen. See, you're a superstar, Tiffany. There are people that nobody's teaching them how to do this. Nobody's showing them how to do this. You see the Millionaire Car Salesman group all the time. Oh my God, tariffs! I'm going to go bankrupt. Help me, help me. So you're there
you
to
got to
help.
keep the noise
So
out.
let's go out. So again, you have these things that are going out. Let's just say it's 8 months out. What is the frequency? Do you deploy content on a monthly basis, bi-monthly basis?
Try to do it on a monthly basis. I mean, sometimes I'm not able to because I get so busy. I usually will do some stuff from home. So that way I can work on my postcards at home and send them the next morning. But usually I try to do it on a monthly basis to keep up. And then I do more phone calling when it's 3 months out. So that way I get them on the phone
Okay,
if they haven't
pause right there.
responded.
So that's the trainer nugget I got. So basically, you're going to start with the long distance follow up, which is like the direct
Yes.
mail and things like that. 8 months out, 7 months
Text.
out, 6 months out, text messaging, etc. Which sidebar? I'm not trying to turn this into a whole little
No,
thing here, but like Podium, for example, specializes with automated text messaging and conversational AI. Are you using any type of AI right now?
no, I'm doing it all by myself.
Come on, girl. You've been doing this too damn long to be doing that shit. That's like using your fingers and toes to count all your money. You know what I mean? Like,
And I have
seriously.
the best text when I have an internet lead too. I always get good response to it.
Well, that's my bread and butter. So we're going to get to that too. But here's what I'm going to say to you: shout out to you and your dealership and your management team. Look, I love Podium, but I don't even care what AI you want to use. You need to get into artificial intelligence. And if you are
Okay.
big in texting, here's what you got to understand. With text messaging, Tiffany, 98% of all text messages get read, and 95% of all text messages get read within the first 3 minutes that they get sent out. So text messaging has the highest engagement. Someone like you that has a massive database like you do, you would benefit tremendously by having AI. See, what AI is to me, it's like an omnipresent tool. It means it's 24/7 and it can work. It's like having a team of personal assistants. It's like having a team of BDC reps. It's like having a team of call center agents on your behalf while you're doing all that you're doing.
And I would love that.
Well, yeah, but listen, you got to be making. And look, I don't know if your GM or your owner is listening to the show, but I'm being honest with you right now. You're a super high performer. I would go, hey, boss, look, you see how much money I'm making both of us right now. Let me make us more money. Here's what I need you to do is invest in AI. Boom, boom, for me. If he says no, work a car deal. Hey, can we split it and split it? Like the Honda co-ops them. All the OEMs co-op people. You're like your own business within the dealership's business. So talk to the dealer like a boss, not like an employee, and say, look, I believe this is going to help me be more productive. It's going to get me more connections, more appointments, more shows, more sales. And it's going to make me more productive. And then at the end of the day, Tiffany, my advice I'm going to give you that I give my daughters is that that's the right way to approach the dealer. However, it's the dealership's dealership. So if they say, no, we're not going to invest in you, you need to make a financial and personal decision to invest in yourself. And if if your dealer won't do it, I'm telling you personally, whatever AI it is, look into it because it's going to make you more efficient, more successful. And I don't know if you know this, but these are the stats right here. Emails only have a 2 to 4% read open rate. So you could blast 50 million emails, but you got to understand there's only a 2 to 4% read open rate. You're swimming upstream. You're taking 30 minutes to cook minute rice. An outbound phone call, I have dealers that Summit Toyota is in Ohio. We took that store from 25 units to 125 units on the internet. That's my little stomping grounds over there. I'm telling you this right now, outbound phone calls, there's only a 6 to 8% connection ratio. That means if you, the ninja that you are, you make 100 calls in a day, you're lucky if you're going to talk to 8, people from like internet. You see what I'm saying? A prior customer's higher engagement. But the reason why I'm saying this to you is that the most work that a salesperson does, especially a productive one like you, is trying to follow up with people. You at your level, to get to 60, 70, 80 cars, you've got to figure out how can you stop paying stupid tax with your time? How can I cut my dumb shit out of my time? How can I not waste time leaving voice message? How can I do this? So once you figure out ways how you could create more engagements, how can you get more people to come to you? That's how you're going to start making more money. Do you agree?
Yes. And pre-COVID, I was selling 50, 60 cars. So I'm trying to get back.
What was your top month?
62. And I worked 3 weeks because I was on vacation that month.
You know what? I wish I had, I'm kind of glad because I have a lot of people on the show that I wouldn't have you today. You know what I mean? But I mean, like, I wish I connected you with before because you're rare. It is rare for anybody to ever get to 62 cars, and it's
damn was in Auto Success magazine back in 2013 for selling 40 cars being 8 months pregnant.
Ooh. So did you know that I was the owner of Auto Success magazine?
Were you? So that's where that was in like 12 or 13.
Yeah. So again, shout out to my girl Susan Givens over there. Yeah. So just so you know, a lot of people didn't know, for about 10 years, I owned 10% of that magazine.
That's so cool.
And then they sold it to, they sold out
that's awesome.
long ago. Yeah. But again, when you were in it, I was an owner of the company.
See?
That's crazy. Now, what's amazing though, is that this is such a big industry, but it's still such a small industry, and it works both ways. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh,
look at
yeah.
what you were featured in the magazine that I owned for over a decade, and I didn't even realize. You know what I mean? Because there's just so many people in this industry. But here we are, years later in 2025, and we're talking about this. So let's get back into your superstar stuff here.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about some more of the things that you've done to be able to generate ups, to generate your own traffic. How do you drive traffic at your store for yourself?
I don't take any ups pretty much. It's all appointment. It's really base generated off of my previous customers. I do get a few internet leads here and there because I'm very good with them. So they do ask me for help when we're getting really busy or tied up here at the store to take over with those. But I basically have just always had this. I just think it's important to make your customers your friends. So I go to lunch with customers. They call me, they're on my Facebook page. I try to make it like one big friendship because they'll know who to call when they need a car or when their aunt needs a car, their friend needs a car. And it's kept me so successful that I get pretty much about 10 to 12 referrals a month. And then I do about 20 previous customers a month. And then whatever extra I do is from me. So.
All right, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to dive into this when we come back. We got to pay some bills. Yeah, folks, I want to let you know right now, this show is expensive. I ain't cheap. I'm pretty expensive. So again, I want to, shout out our sponsors, which is NCC ProMax, Podium, Artificial Intelligence, and we'll be right back after we pay some of these bills.
Dealers, are you ready to elevate your success and dominate 2025? Then it's time to check out NCC's Complete CRM, the all-in-one solution built for dealerships like yours. Whether you're an independent, franchise, or dealer group, this platform has been specifically designed to fit your unique needs. For over 30 years, NCC has been leading the way in innovative dealership solutions with built-in tools like soft pull, data mining, inventory, desking, compliance, and call tracking. Complete CRM also seamlessly integrates with your other chosen systems to help you maximize every opportunity, all while focusing on what really powers your sales: credit-driven retailing. Complete CRM specializes in turning credit insights into more profitable deals. So don't just manage your dealership in 2025, transform it. Visit nccdirect.com today to schedule a demo and see how Complete CRM can revolutionize your business. That's nccdirect.com, the smarter way to sell.
This has been the most in-depth training I've had in my lot of years in the car business.
We went from 60 cars to 156 cars a month in 3 months.
NAMAD, the entire Toyota Chicago region, as well as the top automotive groups like Koons, Lithia, and Norm Reeves have all used Bradley On Demand to train their team.
There's the most comprehensive training company I've seen, and they by far have the best support system.
Doing 50 cars a month, topped out at 80. I can tell you that the Bradley On Demand training will get you to the next level.
And guess what? The world's #1 car salesman, Cody Carter, shares his exclusive strategies right here. You want his secrets? You gotta have Bradley On Demand. If you're still not enrolled in Bradley On Demand, you're missing out on the best virtual automotive training in the world. Enroll now or contact us for a free test drive of the platform today.
Hey everybody, this is Sean V. Bradley, president of Dealer Synergy, and I'm back. I'm back with Tiffany Kruzer, not PT Cruiser, folks. This is Tiffany Kruzer. You know what I'm saying? She's repping Honda. She's repping that set. So I want to just say, man, I am so blown away. I want to dive back in. The last question right before the break was, what are you doing to generate ups? And you said something very powerful. You don't take ups. Here's the thing, Tiffany, you are like the rest of the greats in our industry, like the Cody Carters, the Chrissy Burtons, the Ali Reddas. These people don't take ups. What they do is they work on their own book of business. You know why? Because NADA says that a prior customer is a 65% closing ratio. A service customer is 7 times as likely to purchase a vehicle where they're going to service a car from. These people are working the hottest opportunities. These people that have already understood you, they've had experience with you, you serve them properly, you've been loyal, like they're loyal to you because you've earned their trust and their respect. So tell us some of the things that you did, like off break, you were telling us about this evidence manual stuff. Go over those details. What are the things that you're doing to provide value to your people?
I feel that customers get very bored when they're sitting there waiting for you to do the things you have to do for their car. And they sit there for some time and they look at their phones, but sometimes they just sit there staring. So I decided to put together an evidence manual years ago that basically shows all my customers' thank you letters, my reviews. I was on Auto Dealer Monthly years ago as Sales Professional of the Year, chosen as the first female, so I have that in there. So I just have multiple things that they can read about me. And then when I come back to sit down, they know and they feel closer to me. I have pictures of my family with my kids, stuff like that. And it does help me get that kind of relationship build or something else to talk about besides the sale as well. I also, one thing that I do to follow up with customers too is every time I sell a car, I will take one of my business cards and put it on a magnet. I tell them to put this on their fridge. That way when people are at their house or anything, they might say, oh, I know Tiffany. Or they'll say, oh, I have Tiffany's phone number, and it's right there on the refrigerator. And I get a lot of people telling me that that's been helpful for them to give my number away too.
I love that. I absolutely love that. What I want to do is I want to take a little section here, and I want you to tell us about your daughter and, how long she's been in the business, what that was like. And you mentioned that your significant other is in the business too.
He actually beat me. He was his first time selling cars, and he crafted the craft and worked every single day. He did not take a day off, and he knew I liked my time off. So he worked every day and finally got to the point of beating me. He's actually running his own dealer complex now. He just got promoted as the general sales manager.
Oh my gosh. So when he sold cars, what was his top month?
I think he was doing about 30 to 40. I think 40 was his top month, and he was only.
But you still outsold him at 62 though. He
was never in it long enough to beat me.
Okay, listen, that's hilarious. Okay, so there was definitely like fierce competition with you two at one point?
Yes, it was really, it grew us together as a couple actually, and that's how we started talking. But we're a power couple. We push each other. I was nervous about today, and he told me, "You're great at talking. You're fine, and you'll do great." So
he's right. Now, what's his name?
Elias.
Well, listen, he's got good taste. So who closed who? Did you close him or did he close you?
I think we closed each other.
Oh, okay. And is this both of your daughters?
No, from previous marriage, yes. And my daughter, she started selling cars about 3 years ago, and she's with GMC, and I think she's with the number one GMC dealerships, but she loves it.
How many cars does she average?
She's doing in her 20s, so she's doing good, and I'm proud of her. So she's been doing really good. She just bought her house. Yeah.
Tiana just bought her house too.
House by herself. I'm like, at 24 years old, I can't complain. I still have customers coming in with their 30-year-old kids who don't know how to buy a car. So
Tiffany, there's so many crossovers. I got to introduce you to my wife too, because just to go back into this right here, Tiana is Karen's daughter.
Yes, I remember all that. I know your past.
So what's crazy is that, but I feel in some way she's closer to me than my biological daughter. That's the F&I manager.
Yeah.
Tiana's like my protege. And again, I don't know how the dynamic is with Elias and her, but I'm very tight with my daughter. Yeah. She's my daughter. I don't use the word step. I think it's a disrespect. Yeah. But she just bought her house too.
Close, yes.
She just bought her house too. And it feels good as a parent that, you have a young 20-something-year-old kid that just.
I have a son who's 12 who is ready to be in the business as soon as he's age.
I love it. I love it. It's a family thing because there's so much money to this. People thought I was crazy when I allowed my daughters to drop out of school.
People said it to me too, but.
I didn't allow them to do anything. They're their own people, first of all. But why do you want, if you understand the rules of engagement, how to actually sell and make money, what both my daughters had told me is that they've learned so much about communication, about people, about money, about finance, about credit. There's so many life lessons you learn from the automotive industry that I think this is like a boot camp for life. Now,
I think it's great.
What type of conversations do you and your daughter have about the business?
I just try to call her every morning, try to find out how many appointments she has. I try to keep her from going down that negative path. I'm a very positive person. I don't like negativity. If salespeople around me are being negative, I will tell them to get away from me. I just think it's very important to stay happy and positive no matter what's going on in your life and all this noise around us of everything going on. Who cares? There's always a disaster. Every other year there's a disaster. What does it matter? Just sell cars and make money and leave it alone. Don't think about it.
What I want to do is here. I think the perfect idea is we're going to get Karen and Tiana to do a mother-daughter for you and your daughter podcast.
That'd be cool.
All four of you will be on an upcoming podcast.
That's cool.
Again, I think that the industry needs more women in automotive by far. I really do. I think that there's not enough females in automotive. Now, I want to ask you some questions. If it's okay, you've given us a ton of stuff. And I want you to also, if you can, as I'm talking, write down some ideas, because we're coming to the end of the show in about like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure that you don't leave anything out that you could impart wisdom. Just, I want you to think about this. Think about how you felt when that jerk turned around and blew you off and minimized your potential, and what that feels like. There are other females that are experiencing the same exact thing 20 plus years later that you did, right? So I want you to just speak to them. What advice do you have for them, for not just the women, but for any newbie in here that they come into a dealership and there's no training, there's no direction.
Yeah, there was no training. I mean, you have to fill yourself. You have to find the right people. Back then we had Grant Cardone years ago, and and honestly, to be honest, that's what helped me even know how to sell cars, because we didn't have training. So I found him online and I 10x'd it all the way through. I had the stickers on my car, and I just kept that mentality that you always just have to keep moving forward, that you have to keep working hard for your family, and there's no giving up. And one thing that stuck with me is that guy didn't want me to sell cars for him. He didn't even want to interview me or say my name. And it drove me just to be better. It didn't hurt me, because it made me want to show everyone, hey, you screwed up, and that's a big deal to me, as I like to prove myself to other people.
I love it. I've got some ideas, and I'm going to talk to you offline about how I want to help you and your daughter, just because I'm so impressed with what you're doing. But I want to now give you some personal coaching, and I'm going to do this directly for you, that it's going to help a lot of other people too. But I want to ask some qualifying questions. Do you have your own website?
No.
Okay, you're killing me. Okay, because I'm going to show this to you really quick. This is Tiana's website. So when Tiana worked at the dealership, she worked at Patriot Buick GMC. As you see here, she had her own website, T Got Your Keys. Have you ever seen this website before?
No, I like it.
It's really strong. It's beautiful website. We don't sell websites. I'm just trying to give you an idea.
Yeah.
Look at this website is when she still sold cars. She hasn't sold cars in 4 years. So think about it. This site's at least like 6 years old, and it's still better than half of the car dealership websites that are out there. But on her website, she basically, you're your own business. You follow me? That's what she did. Is so she thought that in her mind, because I'm the internet BDC guy, right? That she was her own dealership. It has her own reviews on here. It has inventory integration on here, and the VDPs, see, like are her. So watch. When she's cutting and pasting on this, like when you put your inventory on there, it's not you, it's the dealership's website.
Yeah.
You got to think about it. You work for Honda. Why does your Honda dealership have a website when Honda OEM has a website? Because Honda OEM website has nothing to do with your dealership. So you got to think, why don't you have a website? If you're your own business, look, she's got ebooks on here that are lead generation. She's got blogs. And this is one of my favorite things to show you is she has her own referral program. And so she's got something that she generated her own network of people. Now, what she does is, now that she's got this website, right? We're not going to play the whole thing.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. This is Tiana from SoYouGotYourKeys.com, and I just wanted to tell you a little bit about myself.
So she's got all this. Is like the evidence manual that you're talking about on steroids.
Yeah, but
now what she can do it now. But watch. So now that she's got her own website, she's able to invest money in simple stuff, my friend, like Instagram ads, Facebook ads, TikTok ads. I just had a woman named Tony Cornell. She's a sales professional from Spokane, Washington. She sells 51 units. I just interviewed her the other day on the podcast. The episode hasn't dropped yet. Yeah. She spends a couple hundred, like $500 a month on social ads. She's selling 50 cars a month, which is insane. So if you're thinking about this, can you imagine if you, Tiffany Kruzer, have your own website, and you're basically, follow me on this, you are driving all of your traffic to your website. You know who else does this? Cody Carter. Cody Carter has cody.tustintoyota.com. He's got a custom website. It's inexpensive, so you don't have to do that. There's way cheaper versions, but he spent over $15,000 in a custom website with custom features and things like that. But you could get a very cost-effective website. Again, I don't sell websites. I'm just giving you an idea. Get a website. Drive all of your traffic, all of your leads to your website. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes.
I was using Facebook, but yeah, it should be.
No, you
I
can
know.
still use Facebook, but have your own website.
Your
You just
website would be smart.
Honda manufacturer use Facebook? Yes, they do, but they have their own website.
Yep.
Your dealership use Facebook? Yes, they do, but they have their own website.
Yeah.
Success leads clues, girl. Stop trying to act like a salesperson. Start acting like the business beast that you are. Have your own website and drive traffic to websites. You know how my daughter at 19 years old was selling 20 plus cars a month at a freaking Buick GMC dealership? She's a Latina. She's part of the LGBT community, and she's a female. So she was targeting Facebook, Instagram.
My daughter is all 3, by the way.
Yes.
So she needs to do that. Yeah.
Well, listen, there are crazy things. If you go to the Millionaire Car Salesman group, and for all you listening, you could do the same thing. I didn't forget that there's tens of thousands of people listening too, besides Tiffany.
Yeah.
Go to the Millionaire Car Salesman Facebook group. There's 30,000 of us that are in there. And if you're a member, because it's not open to the public, you have to be on the front lines, salesperson, manager, or owner at a dealership. There's a section called guides. Tiffany, you ever see guides in there? So it's at the top of the menu. Guides basically are like chapters in the Millionaire Car Salesman group.
Okay.
I think Tiana's chapter 21 or 25. She's in the 20s.
Okay.
It says, "You got your keys." It's the case study of what she did. And what you're going to find is the actual LGBT, that she had. And then there's a video and she talks about, she says, "I can't believe it. I just had my first customer come from my ad." She had a woman drive an hour and 20 minutes away just so she could buy a car. So do you understand that if you have your own website, you could use Facebook's ad manager, Instagram's ad manager, which is Meta's ad manager, and you could drive traffic to your own website on your targeted audience. You want to target Latinas? Target Latinas.
Yeah, that's cool.
And here's one thing else. You want me to give you a superpower thing that you could do? This is gangster right here, girl. Okay. You are the lease queen. You just said you're maximizing this.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that with your dealership's permission only, you got to get your dealership's permission, you could export your entire lease retention list. You could export your entire lease retention list, and you could export it from your CRM or your DMS into what's called a CSV file, which is a spreadsheet. Okay. And once you get into the spreadsheet, you could upload that spreadsheet to guess where? To Facebook's ad manager.
Okay.
To Facebook's ad manager. So let's just say you have in your lease portfolio, in your lease retention list, you have 100, 200, 300, 500 people, whatever it is that you have in there. Again, not everybody's going to have a Facebook or Instagram, but most of them will. Now, can you imagine if you upload your own lease retention list to Facebook or Instagram's ad manager? Guess what you could do? You could start to target those people, and it's so cheap because you're not. What's more expensive is if you don't have any audience. If you ask Facebook or Instagram, "Hey, find me potential people," they're going to charge you more money. But if this is your own database, basically you're just using their technology to focus on your own audience. Do you understand me?
Yeah.
And then guess what you could do? You could do lookalike audiences. You can do things like that. So can you imagine if you could create a campaign, whatever you would say in those direct mails, you could do a Facebook ad, a static ad, a graphic ad, or a video ad. You could say, "Hey," so can you imagine if I leased an Accord from you and all of a sudden I see you, like a video of you pops up on my IG feed or on my Facebook feed and you're like this. I'm like, what the hell is Tiffany doing in my Facebook feed? And you're like, "Hey, it's Tiffany. It's your girl. It's your Honda girl, Tiffany." Okay. Yeah, Tiffany Kruzer. Listen, I want to just let you know your lease is coming up and I want to help you, or whatever the message is. Can you imagine now
cool.
in a layer of that? Here's another thing that you can do. You know what retargeting is? Okay, retargeting, social media retargeting is this, and Google retargeting is if you had your own website like Tiana has, T Got Your Keys.
Okay.
If you put for free, the code is for free. The ads cost a little bit of money. But if you put retargeting code, like it's HTML code on your personal website from Facebook, from Instagram, or from Google, anytime somebody goes to your personal car saleswoman's website, and then they go to social media, your ads are going to pop up for the next 30 days. Anytime somebody goes to your website and then they go to anywhere like CNN, Fox News, or MTV or TMZ or whatever, they're going to be able to get Google ads that are going to follow them around. That's retargeting.
Okay.
See, bro, you are doing so well selling, 40 plus cars, 62 cars, all that stuff, but you're doing it like how we used to sell cars
Yes.
without a CRM. If you start to use technology, whether it's, AI like Podium, or you're using your CRM, or you're using, these type of things, you're going to be able to magnify and amplify your car sales. What do you think about all the stuff I just said?
No, I like it. I'm going to have Tiana tell me how to do my website.
Yeah, no, she'll be more than happy to tell you. You might even do that episode where she walks you and your daughter right through all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm going to look at it. I wrote it
What
down.
about referrals? What's your biggest lead generation for referrals?
It's really, honestly, with referrals, I just get from word of mouth, to be honest with you. I get so many referrals just from people giving my name out. So I get probably, like I said, about 10 a month just from people giving a name.
Okay. Do you have a bird dog that you offer them?
We're not allowed in Ohio.
Okay, no problem. So then this is perfect.
Yeah.
If it's illegal in Ohio, how do you still get a lot of referrals when you can't pay somebody? Can you share what you do to ask for referrals and how you do?
Yeah, I just try to be like the best at customer satisfaction. And I think a lot of it comes from just carry your customer to the end of the deal. I think so many people make the sale and then they just stop right then when they might have ordered accessories, or they might still need something from you, and they get annoyed if you don't follow up and do your job correctly. And then I also make sure to follow up, and they always give me good reviews. And then I always call up after and said, if you know anyone looking, and they go, for sure, Tiffany. And again, with the magnet, that helps too, because then you give them the magnet and say, this is on your fridge. If you know anyone looking, it's right on your refrigerator. And keychains, of course. And I also have my own pens that I make too. Just anything with my name. I just try to get everyone in the world to know what I do.
Here's what I would say. Okay. And this is really special because there's a lot of people that don't have the ability to give a bird dog, or they don't have the financial means to do it, or, no disrespect, some dealers are too cheap to invest in a respectable bird dog amount. Mm-hmm. So if that's you in any circumstance, what Tiffany said is spot on. If you want to get referrals, you have to give superb service. Because nobody's going to refer you if you suck, you mess up the paperwork, you take forever, you make the experience, crappy. So the best way to secure a referral is to give a superb experience, to blow them away, to be worthy of them recommending you. That's the first thing. Mm-hmm. The second thing, Tiffany, and I'm surprised you didn't say this because you have a little stint as a mortgage broker, reciprocal offerings. What that means is make a list of all people that are performance-based like you. That could be real estate agents. That could be mortgage brokers. That could be, insurance agents. That could be, lawyers or whoever you think that needs leads or needs opportunity, and they make their living on commissions or what have you. Make a deal with them. Tiffany, you were a mortgage broker, you said, right?
Yep.
Okay, you worked in mortgages and stuff like that. So you know more than the average salesperson about the mortgage industry. Mm-hmm. You could make a list of all mortgage houses that are wherever from you and just introduce yourself and say, hey, my name is Tiffany Kruzer. I am literally the absolute best, sales professional at my organization, month after month, year after year. And I'd like to network with you. I'd like to turn around and connect with you. And I'd like to do reciprocal business. In the state of Ohio, as you know, we're not allowed to give a cash referral, but I would love to be able to promote your business. Yeah. I would love to be able to put you on my website. I would love to be able to refer you if anybody needs that type of system, like the service that you have. So think about this. You're naturally charismatic, like your husband says, you're a good talker. Can you imagine if you go to the local business, whether it's a restaurant, it's a bar, it's a gym, it's whatever, and just do a live stream video from there and say, hey, I want to just promote your business. I want to just, give you some shine. If you do me a favor, can you put this on your social media? Cross-promotional marketing. See what I'm saying?
That's nice, yes.
So there are so many things that you can do, but what I want to just reinforce what you just said about referrals is this. It's a rhetorical question. Why does your dealer principal or general manager make so much money? Because they've got a team of salespeople. The reason that a lot of salespeople struggle is because they really lack the skills to do referrals. and to develop a network. You need to develop a network like the FBI's got informants, like the CIA's got informants. You need to have your informants infiltrating the entire community. Little League, all the sports teams, all the parent stuff, all the extracurricular activities, all the charities, all that stuff that's out there. Do you see what I'm saying? You need to be infiltrated all there. Now, Cody Carter, I don't know, Tiffany, if you're in all of the social media groups, but you should be in the Honda Accord group. You should be in the Honda Civic group. You need to be in the Honda Pilot group, all the different Honda groups, the Honda EV groups, the new Honda groups, the used Honda groups on social media, the finance groups. You need to be in all of the local stuff in Ohio. You need to be like in those virtual groups. You need to be in the Chamber of Commerce. You need to be in the network. You need to be in the women networking thing. You need to be in the Polish networking thing. Every tribe that you've got to turn around and be part of those groups, and you've got to provide value.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. So as we start to wind down and wrap up, I would love for you to just give us some of your closing tips and best practices and inspiration to the automotive industry. Any more ideas that we could get at you?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much like when you sit down and do numbers with a customer and you're scared of the numbers yourself, you shouldn't be, that you're not the one paying that bill and you don't know what that customer's budget is either. Your job is just to show them what the numbers are and then just shut up. Once you shut up, they should tell you what they want to pay or if they're just willing to pay what you showed them. But I think a lot of salespeople sit down and they try to talk a lot and they don't give the customer the opportunity to just make a quick, easy deal sometimes when it is actually easier than it really is.
I love it. Tiffany, do me a favor, connect with me on Instagram and DM me. I want to connect with you. I want to do something special for you and your daughter. I'm actually going to give you a year free of Bradley On Demand. And so I don't listen to the show. I don't normally give stuff out that much. Once in a while, when I find something special, I give it out. There's only one catch, and I'm saying this on the air. It's for you and your daughter. It's IP specific. Don't let your people, your dealership, access this stuff. No, because again, this is my gift to you.
Yes.
You deserve it. You are an inspiration to people. And again, I've been doing this for almost 27 years. You're very rare. Your daughter is very lucky to have, a role model like you. And I'm super proud that you, your man, and your daughter are part of this industry because you're going to help make this industry amazing. So yes. You've been seen, girl. I'm very proud of you. All right. So connect with me on IG, DM me, and then we'll connect, and then we'll set up the mother-daughter podcast with you, my wife, my girl. Okay.
Great. It was so nice talking to you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely. And LA's not here. He had to go do LA Williams blind master.
Tell him I said goodbye.
But as LA said before, you are the sum of the 5 people that you surround yourself with the most. Today, you were with Tiffany Kruzer, an all-around amazing automotive professional. Top month is 62 units, and she just closed with 41 last month. She's a beast. If I were you all, I would follow her on social media. I would be a voyeur because success leaves clues. You don't have to figure it out. She's already figured it out. So Tiffany, take care. I appreciate you, and we'll go from there. We out.
Thank you so much for watching this week's episode. If you liked it, you're gonna love Bradley On Demand. Bradley On Demand is the most advanced virtual training, tracking, testing, and certification platform. What does that mean? It's an online university. And if you like this information here, we have hundreds and hundreds of advanced videos, step by step, on how to help you sell more cars more often and more profitably, so sign up now.